Namaste, I'm Yonika Infotainment and welcome to the brand new episode of the Startup Show, which is a proud presentation of AIC Tvi Foundation. That is an Atal Incubation Center, Sikkim University Technology Business Incubation Foundation, and this show has been powered by the Sikkim Chronicle. So that's already आज पनि हामीसँग यस एपिसोडमा एकजना इनफ्याक्ट दि यङ फाउन्डर हुनुहुन्छ जो मणिपुर बेस्ड स्टार्टअप रहेको छ। इनफ्याक्ट लेडिज एन्ड जेन्टलमेन तपाईँलाई म यो पनि भन्न चाहन्छु कि आजको कन्भर्सेसन एकदमै हामीले ब्रिफ राखेको र साथै साथै यो कन्भर्सेसन एकदमै भर्चुअल हुनेछ किनभने हामीलाई भर्चुअली जोइन गरिरहनु भएको छ the startup founder, Mr. Lian, who actually runs owns a startup known as the Qonect, which is actually working in the health sector. उहाँको digital health platform रहेको छ. Again, the brand name is Qonect. र उहाँले मणिपुरबाट हामीलाई आज virtually join गरिरहनु भएको छ. Ladies and gentlemen, we expect that this conversation is going to be a very inspiring, motivating, and of course, it will be very enlightening as well. So presenting to you Mr. Lian all the way from Manipur, who actually owns the Manipur-based startup known as the Qonect. So Lian, welcome to the Startup Show. Yeah.
Thank you.
So let's get to the point straightforward. So let's talk about your startup, Qonect. In fact, it's really working on the health sector and it's a digital health platform. So I want you to enlighten the viewers of Sikkim Chronicle that what is your startup all about and who are the founders, etc. Let's talk about the journey in brief. Yeah.
Okay. So to speak about the journey, for me, this is a problem that I deeply care about, and entrepreneurship and startup is sort of like the only sustainable way to really solve this problem. Because my father had medical emergency back then. That's when I realized how hard it is to deal with medical emergency expenditures when you do not have an insurance.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not only me, 4 in 5 of the Northeast population actually face this kind of problem. So the only sustainable way to actually really make changes and improve the accessibility towards ease of access to funds, or be it reducing the cost of the out-of-pocket expenditures, was the only solution that I could think of was a startup entrepreneurship path. That's the reason why I hold on to it. And as far as the founding members, for me, it was a problem that I deeply care about. And, people might want to actually say that I'm, driving this business out of emotion, which I would disagree, which I would say the opposite of it, because I face the problem and I understand the problem, and I believe that I'm the best person to actually solve it, as I know how it feels or what the pains are, for that matter. So I initially started this, started partnering with the hospitals, and our first beneficiaries user was someone who I know, and then I asked them to use it at Shiza Hospital. So when the person was, having a neurosurgery, and he was able to save around about 25 to 40K. And that was when I really believed in the idea that we could make changes and we could actually improve others people's life by creating this platform, and that's where we began the journey.
So it's a digital health platform. So I would particularly want to understand what are the business activities that actually you actually cater through your platform. Like, what are the business activities?
See, our main goal is the need of the gap that we care about and that we wanted to actually bridge, is that to make sure that a person gets access to on-time medical care, right? And how do we do that? It's by giving a platform that give them access to fund at instant, at the need of the hours, right? So let's say a person may get sick at 12 a.m. midnight, and then ideally for a person who does not have any medical emergency fund, literally they have to go and knock on some doors, a guy or a person who might or may not have the money, and ask, for instances, can I borrow 5,000 or 10,000 because I need to take my sisters or brothers or father, father-in-law, could be anyone, but to
Yeah.
hospitals, and which is not ideal.
Mm-hmm.
मतलब 12 बजे आप जाके किसी के पास पैसा मांगना and all that, we don't want to. We want to make sure that the medical attention is not being delayed, and
Mm-hmm.
the solution that we could think of is to provide ease of access to fund, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
the other thing that we also do is that if we are going to actually do that, then there are also a way to help people who does not have health insurance to reduce the cost of their medical expenses by
Mm-hmm.
having an exclusive partnership with the hospital, and
Mm-hmm.
offer them a certain discount benefits, instant discount benefits, which would come in handy even for a person who has an insurance. So
Mm-hmm.
with an insurance, you might need to be hospitalized for 24 hours. But in our case, you can simply, avail the benefits when you visit any of our partner hospitals or diagnostic centers, right? You don't need a specific policy or anything as such, right?
Okay.
And yeah,
Mm-hmm.
other than that, we also provide a OPD booking as well as a lab test, access to
Yeah.
lab test report.
So, Mr. Lian, like, there are a lot of startups working in the health sector, and basically, when we talk about the digital health platform as such as yours, so what is so uniqueness in your startup, and what is the unique selling point that I would particularly want to know about that?
So the uniqueness about our product and services is that we are, more like an alternative for insurance. We are catering to people who does not have health insurance and who cannot
Mm-hmm,
afford health insurance, right? And they get access to our platform for free,
mm-hmm,
and also get access to fund at ease, regardless of their financial or economical background. And
mm-hmm.
so what makes us unique is that we enable ease of access to fund and affordable healthcare for free. So that's something that I'd say that makes us
Okay.
unique.
One more thing I really want to add up is like, this, how is the market? How do the people reach out to you, and what are the market model or the business model that how can they? Is there any subscription as such in your platform?
Yes, we are a digital, subscription-based health platform where the person
Mm-hmm,
would have to subscribe it to 499 or 1,999 in case if the person wants to get more benefits and features of
mm-hmm,
benefits that we have on our platform. It
mm-hmm,
is a per annum subscription based.
mm-hmm. Okay, sounds good. And how did they reach out to you? Do you have a website, a full-fledged website, or do you have a mobile app?
Yeah, we have a website, we have a mobile app, and also we have a customer support team.
Mm-hmm,
And then we have an email. There are any ways that and we have also maintain a social media page where they can reach out to us. And
mm-hmm,
definitely, it's a lot of platform nowadays. Using all the available
mm-hmm.
platform to have because see, what matters to us most is that a person who is using our services should have the best experience, right? That's priceless. Experience is all that counts. With a bad experience, the price really doesn't matter. So we want to give the best customer experience, and we want to make that as part of our service. So
So I was just going through the summary of your startup that you sent me. The one thing which really got my eyes, the solution and the product. You were talking about the digital health card, which is completely free and that is offering a lot of discount, and also about the instant loan, medical emergency up to a certain amount. So can you just briefly highlight on that because I wanted the viewers to know about that, and that might be one of the USP that we would be really interested to understand.
free. The digital health card is more like an alternative for people who cannot afford the health insurance, or who does not have the kind of fund to infuse to secure their health. At least
Okay.
it's more like an alternative,
Okay.
right? And for the instant loan is more about preparing ones for any unforeseen medical emergency expenditures.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, previously, it could be night, or it could be at the workplace, or it could be an accident. You
Mm-hmm.
never know, and one can never say that I'm immune to accident or any medical emergency. You know, I'm not never going to ride in every single day that, you know, I am never going to have an accident and while I'm going out today. So I'm not going to sign on it because it could happen to anybody. And all we
Mhm.
wanted to do is prepared for any unforeseen medical emergency expenditures through our
Mhm.
platform.
Mhm.
Those are, you know, so if one has access to fund for
Mhm.
such circumstance, then
Mhm.
it is a lot easier to deal with.
Yeah, this sounds really appealing to me, and I hope this really gets pan India someday nearby. And so, apart from that, Leon, I really wanted to understand this because since 2000, you started in 2018 and it's 2022. We'll talk about the milestone and the achievement as well. But when you started off, like, what were the challenges and the difficulties that you faced as a very young entrepreneur?
Challenge was, I mean, something that, you know, you don't expect. You know, people talked about startup and people talked about, you know, a lot of things. You know, mujhe bhi kuch karna hai, and then I wanted to do something, and you know, I should do a startup and all these things. But for our cases, it was completely different. We care about the problem, and we wanted to meet the needs of, you know, people, and properly cater and solve a real problem. So the challenge which I would say personally that I faced was in regards to inexperience. I'm not from a B school, and wherein I don't have any, you know, experience as such. So in terms of, you know, identifying and, you know, sort of like building it, it was completely hands-on experience, and I have learned everything in a hard way, as opposed to it was never did or taught to me on, you know, theoretical basis or um, for that matter. And those are, you know, so challenge, if I have to give you in a specific, then in terms of partnership, in terms of fundraising, in terms of infrastructures, in terms of manpower, there are a lot of factors. And in terms of even educating the product to the, you know, target customers or segment of the customer that we wanted to cater to, even that is also a challenge. But one way or another, that's part of the journey. So
Yeah, absolutely. Let's move from difficulties and challenges to the milestone because, again, your summary really reflects a lot of milestones that you have achieved so far. So, kindly highlight about that as well. I'm sure the milestone that you have achieved might be enough for a lot of viewers of Sikkim Chronicle to get inspired. Let's talk about that as well.
okay, so the milestone, I mean, it was a really, I mean, the milestone that we have achieved till date is, you know, looking back, those days was something that we kind of even never expect,
Mhm.
for that matter. So the first year we were able to get only approximately 700 plus, you know, onboarded on our
Mhm.
platform. And then second year goes by, and then 4,000 plus, and now we already have more than 6,000, you know, with 2,000 plus subscriber on our
Mhm.
platform. And we
Mhm.
also have a total number of 225 partners on our network, you know. So in terms of fundraising, I mean, Netfee has actually given us a, you know, a space where you could breathe, literally. I mean, it was you know, a very lengthy process, to be honest. I mean, you
Mhm.
know, but then again, for the viewer, one thing that I wanted to say is that, you know, you don't expect, you know, an investment, you know, or an investor to come on board and invest, talk to you today and then invest tomorrow, because it's going to take at least, you know, 3 to 6 months minimum.
Mhm.
So with the likes of Netflix, I'm not saying that they're not, you know, fast, but I'm saying that that's the ideal time. So it was a great achievement for us to really have, I mean, the likes of Netfee coming on board, helping us, giving us a seed fund.
Mhm.
So that was something that actually, you know, kicked really in for the growth of the startup.
Mhm. Sounds really interesting. We have talked about difficulties and the challenges and the milestone, of course. So, I particularly let's talk about the investment. Like, since I'm sure you were a bootstrap, you know, for some time, and then you got a lot of seed funds, and they're looking for investors, or maybe a lot of investments coming in. So, are you really looking for one now, or are you really pitching about putting up your pitch deck to the lot of investors around? So, how has it been going so far, and are you really looking for investments in future?
So in regards to investment, definitely we are open to, and however, we would at this point in time, we are more focused towards creating value for the startup and increase the valuation of the company and increase the number of subscriber, the number of user that we acquired, and the number of partners that we have. All those are something that we are focusing more towards building it, and we are open to investment, but we would definitely be knocking the doors of an investors in the next 6 to 8 months down the line. But at
Mhm.
this point in time, our focus for the next 6 to 8 months down the line would be more of rather than a pitch deck, it would be more of creating more values to the startup and
Mhm.
acquiring more users.
Okay. So now, all the best for that as well. I just really want to convey my best wishes for whatever you're really looking for in terms of investment. So, Leon, let's talk about the customers now. Maybe if you talk about the numbers and the statistics. So, how many customers that you have catered so far? And also, I'd like to add up this, how many, the medical institutions or the medical agencies that you're working so far? Let's talk about the numbers.
So, in terms of numbers, it
Mhm.
is a little bit challenging as opposed to the way we anticipated, or expected. People are more keen on using our product only when they are in need of it. For us, ideally, the idea is to have a person, registered and have their information, verified, so that upon, requirement during
Mhm.
any unforeseen emergencies, then they should be able to use it. Rather than that, people only realize, probably there is a word called temporal distance. Maybe that's the reason. But to give you an answer to that, we have already served and catered to more than 6,000 peoples, and
Mhm.
which is a very great achievement given the efforts that we have made.
Mhm.
And in terms of health institutions, the likes of webinars, and since we are operating from Manipur and Sisa hospitals, everyone is so cooperative and supporting us and agreeing to partner with us, and even Dr. W and all that, they are like
Mhm.
supporting us as in every way that they can, even becomes our
Mhm.
advisor. So
Mhm.
it means a lot to us, and the total number of partnership that we have till date is 225.
Mhm.
Um, so which is a wonderful, actually,
Mhm.
businesses to onboard it on the platform. So
Mhm.
that would be the number that I can give you for at this moment. So
Yeah, sounds good. So before we wind up the conversation now, because I wanted to make this conversation very brief so that it would be quite imbibing for the viewers of the Sikkim Chronicle when it comes to understanding entrepreneurship. So since you are from Manipur, you have a Manipur-based startup, and then you're currently incubated under AICSB TBI Foundation, which is located in Sikkim, of course. So I just wanted to understand why AICSB TBI Foundation, and then how has been the learning so far, and how has been the support?
see, AICSMU TBI is, if you can think of any other incubators in the Northeast, probably at this point in time, or 8 months down, back, there wasn't any incubators, honestly, that I know of. Probably
Mhm.
there might have been existed on paper, but who has done the real work in terms of supporting, or nurturing startup. So
Mhm.
I was, something that really stand out across the Northeast. And if you're to actually really need help, then they are the platform that you are going to have to access to. And the learning from AICs and the TBI has been very much impactful for the growth of a startup, and it
Mhm.
helps us feel confident in terms of pitching, in terms of uh, connect, and sort of networking. So it gives a lot of there are no specific as such, they have done this great thing, or they kind of actually fill in all the gaps that you left off, and then um, you were able to learn and acquire knowledge from the likes of AIC Simuti, right? So, um, in other words, I'd say that it's a great platform, and I've learned a lot. And I don't think I would be speaking the way I'm speaking to you right now if it wasn't for ICSMU TBI. So that's how I can summarize and
Okay. So before we get the last message from you in terms of entrepreneurship or inspiring any more entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs, so where do you see yourself or your startup in the next 5 years? I know it may not be like easy for you to say it right now, but still, I really want to know that.
Well, I thought about it, so I'd say it's easy for me to say it because
Uh-huh.
as far as the startup that's concerned, I probably it may be too aggressive or too dramatic. I mean, however people want to interpret, that's totally their opinion. But I just want to be the first startup from the Northeast to actually go out from the Northeast and serve the
Hmm.
pan India.
Pan
And in the
India.
next 5 years, I would like
Mhm.
to definitely be across the country.
Sounds really good. Now, the message from you, because yes, since you're very young, an entrepreneur, of course. So, what would be your message to the people who is watching this exclusive interview of the podcast?
Wow. Um, so that would be something that we just have to do what we need to do, right? And whatever. See, what we are so good at procrastinating, and then we are so good at giving ourselves an excuse, denying the fact that we are the one who is to blame.
Mhm.
Let's say, for example, I wanted to do something, or if you want to make changes, there will be a lot of sacrifices. And do you have what it takes to actually do that? And once you actually decided to do something, there will be problems, right?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
there are days that you would want to give up, but
Mhm.
at the end of the day, if it was easy, then everyone would have done it. And it's hard, that's why it matters to you. Or so making changes or doing something, whatever that you wanted to do, is do it. But before you do it, do you have what it takes, and are you willing to sacrifice, you know from maybe something that you never anticipated. So it
Mhm.
could be anything.
Mhm.
So I mean, so you have to be prepared, and if you're willing to do all that, then just follow your dream and do whatever you want to do, and as long as it makes you happy, that's all that matters.
Mhm.
That's
Sounds
it.
really good. Yeah, sounds really good. Anyway, so Leon, thank you so much for joining for the conversation. In fact, it was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much.
Oh, pleasure is mine, and thanks so much. And you have a wonderful day.
Yeah, thank you.